Is it just me, or is there a authenticity trend? People will say, be authentic like this, or be totally authentically you like this. Kind of seems a little ironic to me. So what is authenticity? Here's the thing. It is amazing how difficult it is to truly embrace yourself. What I mean by that is most people have a tendency to actually hide who they really are. In this world of anonymity and all these filters on our phones, it can be really easy and even attractive to be a poser or a fake or even a fraud. There are reasons for this though. Our brains are wired to fit into the tribe because we feel like when we fit in, then we can avoid pain, the pain of social anxiety, the pain of not being enough. And we also have the security of the group. Humans have two basic impulses. The impulse to either move toward pleasure or away from pain. And when we feel like we don't fit in, we feel like we're in danger. And danger is basically the precursor to pain. And so we want to move away from pain. The interesting thing is that most humans will do more to avoid pain than to gain pleasure, which is why we end up mimicking others, because we start to compare and we see that they're successful, they're doing this right, and they're getting all this pleasure, they're getting all of this attention, and they're not getting any of the pain, so that's what we want. Of course, we don't see behind the scenes, and we don't know what their personal life looks like, but that's what we see, so that's what we try to mimic. The problem is our brains will start to compare. But our brains are wired this way. We compare automatically. It's a self-preservation response. If we never compared anything, then obviously we wouldn't know the difference between a loaf of bread and a snake, right? I know that's a silly example, but this is basically a natural impulse that has gone to the extreme in the world we live in today. So when we start to compare ourselves to others, whether we think they're smarter or they're richer or they're better looking or they've achieved more than us or they've accomplished more than us, that makes us start to feel inadequate. And when we feel inadequate, we start to feel guilty because we didn't do what we were supposed to, or we didn't do what we felt we should have. And feelings of inadequacy and guilt will start to lead to envy, jealousy, resentment, which eventually will start to try to pull others down to our level instead of rising up to the other level. That's just how we operate. So when we feel inadequate, we believe that we won't have the security, we're going to experience pain, but more importantly, we won't be loved or valued. That's probably the basic human need, is wanting to be loved and valued. And when you don't have love or value, you start to experience pain. We crave that love and that value. Inadequacy will also make us start to pull back. We won't take risks because we're afraid of what others might think. Because ultimately, the approval and the love of others is what helps us achieve and helps us to gain more power, right? But here's the crazy thing. It is critical for success and fulfillment that we embrace authenticity and who we were created to be. Now, I don't mean that we shouldn't model proven practices. I do believe that, but we take their strategies and we apply it to our own personality. So I've been talking about authenticity. How do we embrace authenticity? How do we become comfortable and embrace who we really are? Well, there's several ways, but here are my favorites. Number one, stop comparing yourself to others. It's only going to bring pain, and it's only going to produce those feelings of inadequacy. Number two, realize we're all on our own journey. We've all been through different things. So no matter how hard you try to be like that person, you're never going to be like them, because they have their own experiences and their own journeys that have shaped them toward where they're at. And so have you. Number three, share your story. When you share your journey and the things that make you unique and your unique gifts, it's really difficult to put on a face. When you're raw and real with people, they're going to respect your journey. Now, don't worry, you don't have to share your whole life story on the internet. I just mean be open with people. people will start to relate to you. We all have our own journey, but we have similar stories. And when you share your journey, you can reach out to them. There are people out there that can only hear from you. Number 4, don't use filters. And I don't mean don't use the funny, fun things on your phone. I just mean don't try to be someone you're not. I think anonymity is a curse in the world we live in because it forces us to, or it makes it to where we don't have to be who we are. We don't have to embrace who we are. We can hide behind the anonymity. Now, I'm not saying that there's no cases where you should never be anonymous. All I'm saying is that we should embrace who we are and we should be willing to put our name behind what we say. Number 5, admit mistakes. Nobody likes to admit mistakes, but it can be pretty hard to be fake when you're admitting your own failure. But here's the thing, when you admit your failure, it starts to help you grow. And again, I don't mean you have to tell everyone about all your failures online. I just mean be the type of person that admits when you make a mistake. Number 6, embrace your gifts. I talk about gifts a lot. And when you find something you're really good at, throw yourself into it. Jump in head first. We all have unique talents and gifts for a reason, and that can give us a clue into who we really are and how to embrace who we really are. Number 7, recognize and appreciate that everyone is unique. I know this kind of sounds like the other ones, but remember that being different is a strength. It's not a weakness. This is actually going to naturally start to make you look within and to discover your own unique gifts and your own unique talents. Because ultimately, when we focus on the beauty of others, we truly start to embrace our own. Number 8, prioritize growth over achievement. We live in an achiever culture where everything is about what you've done, what you've accomplished, what you have. But when we're constantly striving for improvement, then we have to face our demons. And when we face our demons, we become better. We become a better version of ourselves, which then allows us to be able to serve others on a deeper level. And the other thing is that it helps us realize that we already have all we need to succeed. We just have to use the skills that we've already been given. And number 9, don't try to make everyone happy. There's a quote that says, I don't know the absolute secret to success, but I do know the absolute secret to failure. Try and make everyone happy. You will never make everyone happy. And if you try to make everyone happy, you're just going to be miserable. There are going to be people out there that don't like who you are. That's unfortunate, but it's how the world works. That's why we're all different. So don't try to make everyone happy. It's really important to just be you. You know, about 10 years ago when I first started my very first company, I was at a real estate meeting and I was going through the food line and I struck up a conversation with the guy next to me. His name was Mike. Great guy. We hit it off. We had no agendas. We just enjoyed each other's company. About 2 months later, I get a call from Realty One of New Mexico, the biggest brokerage in the entire state. That's where I was at the time. And they said, we want to have you come present. And I was like, yes, this is awesome. I've been trying to get into this office forever. When I get there, Mike jumps up and introduces me and says, this is a great guy, listen to him. I said, thanks, Mike, for the introduction. That's fantastic. Find out at the end that the guy is the owner and founder of Realty One. He's probably one of the most powerful men in real estate in the entire state of New Mexico. But I was able to have that opportunity because I just connected on a personal level. I wasn't trying to be someone I wasn't. I was just being me. So it's so important to just be you. So instead of focusing on comparing yourself to others, remember how unique you are and how unique your gifts are. Focus on who you really are and who you're becoming. One of the most amazing ways that I have been able to dig into my own identity and embrace who I really am is through journaling. I actually made a self-discovery journal that's available on Amazon right now that I would love to have you get your hands on. You can click the link in my bio right next to self-discovery journal. It's built specifically to help you uncover your identity and the real you. There's inspiring quotes in there to help get you going if you get stuck. There are challenges to help you grow. And then there are insights to help you reflect on who you've been and where you're going. Because it's all about growth. Being authentic isn't about being static. It isn't about being, this is who you are forever. It's about growth, and it's about embracing what you are meant to be, what your mission is in life, and what your gifts are. And hey, if you're a real estate professional and you want to really embrace your identity and learn how you can connect with people on a really deep level without all of the extra tips and tricks, by just being you, connecting with people by just being you, click on the link in my bio and let's set up a discovery session to figure out where you are and how you want to build to get to where you want to be. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. And remember, there is no one else like you. See you soon.